Well, Pacelli and Boomer, they're grizzled and gray, talking about Star Wars from back in the day. Got a talk show called Geeky Geezers, it's true, spinning old tales about the stuff they went through. From Atari to Shrek, they know every line. Geeky Geezers, man, they're feeling just fine. Late Savvy's got a lightsaber, swings it with pride. Boomer's got a game but plays it deep in the night. They're ranting about He-Man and old X-Men too. On Geeky Geezers, they're the nerdiest crew, talking Transformers toys that twist and they turn, singing blues for the geek life, their hearts still burn. Oh, Geeky Geezers, they're living the dream, talking comics and movies, they're busting the scenes. From Battlestar reruns to D&D lore, they're preaching the gospel of geek evermore. Pacelli and Boomer, they'll never grow old. Geeky Geezers with hearts made of gold. They're sitting in the studio, mics turned up loud, reminiscing about Super Friends, feeling so proud. Pacelli loves Spider-Man, Boomer's for Hulk. They argue about Star Trek with passionate both. From Betamax tapes to their old D20s, Geeky Geezers where the nostalgia flows. They got fans in the chat, from the young to the old, tuning in to hear stories that never get told. Talking Ghostbusters, Proton Packs, Toys in the Box, and Saturday mornings with cartoons that rock. Pacelli and Boomer, they're keeping it real. Geeky Geezers with that old school feel. Oh, Geeky Geezers, they're living the dream, talking comics and movies, they're busting the scenes. From Battlestar reruns to D&D lore, they're preaching the gospel of geek evermore. Pacelli and Boomer, they'll never grow old. Geeky Geezers with hearts made of gold. They're singing the blues for the games that they play, for the VHS tapes and the arcades that pray. But the spirits are young, though their hair's turning white. Geeky Geezers keep the nerd fire alight, so tune in each week to the Geeky Geezers show, where Pacelli and Boomer let the good times flow. From X-Files to X-Men, they're dropping the news, singing praises of geek life with them old blues. Pacelli and Boomer, forever they'll be Geeky Geezers living wild and free.
Happy Daylight Savings Day, everybody.
Happy Daylight Savings to you, Uncle Boomer.
We get to celebrate the hour we lost. What could have been?
God.
What could we have done with that hour today?
Honestly, I used to complain about losing an hour, but at the same time, I also think with as much time as I waste, I'm not really in a position to pontificate.
Well, welcome everybody to the Geeky Geezers. I'm your host, Aged Boomer. This is my co-host, Pacelli.
Hello.
And this is our other co-host, Netter of Netters Network, also known as the Geezette.
Who's actually stepped away, but she will be back and saying hi to all of you in the chat very shortly.
Okay, so here we are.
I think she was a little set off by the hour difference. I think that's what
we've all been set off with it. In fact, I even told myself, just go to bed, get yourself a good 8 hours. Maybe your body won't notice. I still think it notices. But anyway.
Netter wakes me up today because, Sunday's the day I sleep in, right? The day of rest, right? And she's like, honey, you might want to get up. Depending on how you look at it, it's either noon or 1. And I'm like, either way, I need to get up. I got to get the stream ready.
Yes, and you ran down to get one of those the big arch sandwiches. I'm kidding, of course.
Oh no. That's right, because afternoon, right? Breakfast is over.
Yeah, you could just do that, yeah. But chat is open, everybody. Thank you. I welcome Big Al. Have a great show, my geezer friends. Wishing everyone a great weekend, because I always thought you were going to say wishing everyone had a great weekend. Well, it's kind of late now, right? I'm just saying. But the weekend's not over yet.
The rest of the weekend, right?
Yes. Storyman Jack, welcome. Lynn Green, welcome. Tired Midnight Blogger, welcome. Deleted Scenes, welcome. Connie Cleary, welcome. Satopia, welcome. Got a big old unscripted raid going on here. Nick Severus.
Awesome.
Let me see here. All right, and we'll wait to see who else spills in here. I don't know, man. Got some good stories tonight, including the winners of the Mega Man finalists for the next Mega Man game for the 6 Robot Masters.
Yeah, I put it on the thumbnail, but I hope you have good picks in the presentation,
I
because
think
it's
so.
like I'm looking at this going, no one's going to be able to see a damn thing here.
Here's what it is about. Well, hopefully we can do a little better when we get to the story.
Yeah.
But I figure while we wait for Netter, I'm going to explain to you what the Robot Master contest is. This hails back to young Boomer back in high school, maybe even freshman or sophomore year, when Capcom announced for Mega Man 6, the final Mega Man game on the NES, you can design your own Robot Master and submit it to Capcom. And if we and there will be one lucky kid in the United States, or maybe North America, maybe Canada was included, I don't know. You will get your robot included in as one of the 8 Robot Master bosses in Mega Man 6. And I'm like, whoa. This is like my first chance to become immortalized in a game. I could create my own Robot Master and send it. Only trouble is I can't draw worth anything. Okay, but I came up with my own Robot Masters for this contest. One of them was called Fork Man, because all the robots have different themes. Do you understand?
Okay.
Mine was Fork Man. His head was shaped like a tuning fork, with the 2 prongs sticking up. He had one hand that was a tuning fork and another hand that shot out dinner forks at you like rapid fire. And like the tuning fork hand would stun you. It'd be like a shock
a sonic
wave.
attack.
Yeah, like a sonic thing. And then you'd also have like random attacks with the little forks being sent to you. And I remember.
And so his calling card was he was going to fork you up, right?
They don't usually talk, but if they did, that's probably what he would say. Yes,
exactly.
And because I remember on Captain and the Game Master when the deadly Cutsman, he's Cutman in the game, not Cutsman. He says on Captain, he says, "I'm here to cut, and I don't mean hair." Ha ha ha! It's like real bad. Anyway, but the idea is these are one of the 8 evil robots created by the evil Dr. Wily, and you as Mega Man have to stop the 8 evil robots. And every time you defeat a robot, you get that robot's power. And
does it supplant the previous power you had, or do you accumulate them as
choose? But you have power gauges for all the powers. So as you use the power, you lose a little bit more unless you refill it with these tanks that are around the level. If you kill enemies, you get replenishment tanks, and if you're on the correct power, you can replenish the power, or you can use it all up and then switch to another power. Do you understand? It's like
gotcha.
It's like limited supply. It's like bullets, basically, except they're not.
Gotcha.
Of course, my other boss I submitted was called Bullet Man, who actually was shaped like a bullet, and he had a face on it. And
nice.
His thing was he had like a rapid fire machine gun, and that would have been Mega Man's power. But none of mine got picked. Sad day. Which I was a little annoyed because I either had like a Flower Man or a Plant Man as one of mine, and then Capcom I'd already designed one like that for the game, and I'm like. They called it something else, and I'm like, that looks like my design, but what can you do?
Yeah.
Thought of it ahead of time, right? I'm not going to.
I am sure that's happened to a lot of people. There have been contests, people who sent stuff in. They did something very similar, but not exactly the same.
Yeah.
They never credited the person who sent it in.
Well, yeah. Well, it was probably something they already had in the game, because, I mean, let's be honest, making a robot that looks like a flower is probably long overdue my Mega Man 6. The robots are themed. Do you understand? That's what I'm trying to say. And like in Mega Man 7, one of them is themed like basically he's like a vampire. He's got like vampire bat wings, and like they all have different things. But I just thought I'd give you a little backdrop because I was going to go talk about that anyway. But
probably shouldn't read it out loud. But Storyman Jack said that reminds me when my son was little and he dropped his fork one time, and what he said made his mother, he thought his mother was going to slap him. So, yeah.
He probably overheard the kids on the school bus saying the word, or actually that was the joke.
Or he just didn't enunciate the fork part right. Get that hard R in fork. There are other words you don't use the hard R for. That is one you really must.
Yeah, I remembered because I remember that episode of The Simpsons where Ned Flanders' son used the D word. He's like, where does he hear this language? And he was checking out his TV viewing habits, and he said, Didn't he used? Well, he watched David and Goliath. Oh, he stopped watching that because he considered a talking dog blasphemous. So he stopped watching that. And then he's wondering, where is he getting this language from? It's not his friends. Then suddenly you hear Homer next door cussing in the yard after he steps on a nail or something, and it's like that's where he was. So then he has to have a talk with Homer. Hey, could you maybe not scream out the profanities while outside? My kids are hearing you and picking up your. Anyway,
Davy and Goliath made me think of a Robot Chicken bit where they did one. It was instead of Goliath, the dog's name was Samson, and it was son of Sam.
That's
and only
funny.
The kid is hearing the dog talking.
That's very funny.
Not very good things.
That was funny on that was like on Venture Brothers. They did a similar thing where they had the Scooby-Doo gang, but they were all based on different serial killers of the gang, and like the dog was of course named as Shaggy was named Sonny, and he had the talking dog with him that he would hear, and it was like never mind. Anyway,
Lynn says there's a word with a hard R that I don't even use the soft R either. Well, then you don't speak certain Asian languages because that's just a normal word in their language. So I think the world needs to get over themselves. They really, really do.
Well,
and happy Sunday to you as well, Daniel Barry's Sports Highlights. Good to see you.
So let's go ahead and bring up the presentation, shall we?
Yes.
So we always start out these presentations with the good old days, and we have a very.
So tell me a story, Geeky Geezers, about a man named Brady.
Of course, we're referring not Tom Brady, the Brady Bunch.
Right, exactly.
Wow, how have we not covered the Brady Bunch at this point? But we have.
So this show, how long did it go on for? For 7 seasons, I think it was.
That's pretty good for a sitcom, yeah.
Something like that. It was.
That must have been very popular.
No, I'm sorry, 5 seasons, but still, that was 5 seasons, and that's when seasons had way more episodes than we get now. It was 117 episodes. This one was relatively early. This clearly is not first season. This is like 3rd season, maybe.
Yeah.
This was pre-perms for the boys.
Yeah, that was a thing.
Yes,
it's was. Sort of come back with the broccoli head haircut, though, hasn't it?
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, but here we are. We have this is of course this is actually, let me get the names right because Lord knows I don't remember everything. Okay, Carol. Her name's Carol, and she has 3 lovely daughters. Carol is married to
Mike, and she has 3 daughters named Marcia, Jan, and Cindy, and he has 3 boys, which are Greg, Peter, and Bobby.
Yes.
And it's a blended family. It was very, very unique for its time, the idea of a blended family being depicted in your regular family hour sitcom. And they were originally going to did they specifically say that Carol was divorced? I know that was originally going to be an intentional point, and the network really didn't want them to focus on that.
I know they had Mike as a widower.
Mike was definitely a widower. That one was very, very clear.
By the way, hi y'all.
There,
Hello, Netta, were you a fan of this show?
I used to watch it, yeah. I thought it was a fun little show for its time.
Okay, so
show, I think.
I'm looking at Wikipedia here. Premise: Mike Brady, a widower architect with 3 sons, Greg, Peter, and Bobby. Marries Carol Martin, who herself has 3 daughters, Marcia, Jan, and Cindy. Yeah, so it doesn't even say. They may not have ever addressed it. Mike and Carol adopt each other's children, and Carol and her daughters take the Brady. Well,
I seem to remember. I may be misremembering, but I seem to have one of those memories that Carol once mentioned that her husband was in the military, and
because I now I realize I just read something that tells me exactly what has to be the case. If they adopted each other's children, then she had to be a widow because he wouldn't have been able to adopt someone else's children.
Did her husband die? Perhaps maybe they don't want to talk about it in the Vietnam War. Maybe
That's an excellent point. There was a lot that was implied and not said,
Right.
for the purpose of the adults can take the assumptions they want to and not have to deal with talking to the kids about it. Let them have the conversation with their kids if they so chose. Can you imagine that, though? Can you imagine a TV show being that way and actually being thoughtful enough? But I digress. But included in the blended family are Mike's live-in housekeeper, Alice Nelson, played by Ann B. Davis, and the boy's dog, Tiger. In the pilot episodes, the girls had a pet, a cat named Fluffy, who never appears in the episode. I always headcanoned that because of the problems between Fluffy and Tiger, they decided to rehome Fluffy.
Okay,
and you didn't always see Tiger.
No, and you didn't see him after, I want to say, the first or the second season. Very sad story there. The dog who played Tiger was hit by a car and was unable to. Well, he passed, and the trainer really didn't want to lose his job, so he tried to replace Tiger with another dog of the same breed, and its temperament was very different, and he didn't respond the way he should, and everyone noticed, and that's when they dropped Tiger, but they always kept the doghouse out back. You always assume that Tiger must have passed, and they just didn't acknowledge it directly in storyline.
Selena says, no, he went to live on a farm.
There it was. Yeah, exactly.
So while this show did premiere in '69, this is a very '70s television series.
It was. Well, let's face it. It was September of '69, so it was the end of '69.
Yeah. It's like The Sopranos. Technically starts in the '90s, but I consider that an odd series, a very 2000 series. Yeah.
Exactly right. Exactly right. So yeah, this does technically predate me. In fact, this would have been within a month of my parents getting married, actually. 2 years before I was born. But anyway, so where were we? The setting is a large 2-story house designed by Mike. Put a pin in that. We'll get back to that. Located in a Los Angeles suburb. The show never addressed what happened to Carol's first husband. Okay. But like I said, by inference, we can assume. While the show's creator, Sherwood Schwartz, always intended Carol to be divorced from her first husband, ABC preferred for her to be a widow due to a more conservative American stance on marriage at the time of the first episode aired in 1969, which led to the compromise that resulted in not revealing the first husband's fate on the show. But again, like if Mike adopted the girls, it can't just be a divorce. It had to be a widow situation.
Yeah, that's what I said. I have a fuzzy memory of Carol mentioning just once, that her husband had been in the military. I want to say Air Force.
However, other factors also prevented Carol from being revealed as being divorced on the show, as well as the potential portrayal of both custody agreement and explanation for her divorce with Mike was even able to adopt Carol's daughters, always being portrayed as the only father character's daughters accepted. So yeah, see, I was right. Even I should have just finished reading what I had started. The first season, awkward adjustments, accommodations, gender rivalries, and resentments inherent in blended families dominated the storyline. The show, being centered on a blended family household, was considered unique for the time, as most other shows were still focused on single family households. We may end up doing a talk about Family Affair another time. That's another outlier.
And what was nice about this is because it's been on the air for so long, you actually got to see those kids grow up.
Well, it was only 4 years, but kids grow up pretty darn fast. In an early episode, 5 years, I'm sorry. In early episodes, Carol tells Bobby that the only steps in their household lead to the second floor. In other words, the Bradys were not a step family, only a family. Therefore, episodes focus on typical teenage and preteen concerns such as sibling rivalry, puppy love, and self-image, character building, responsibility, dating, school dates, and school grades, and getting along in social company. Noticeably absent is any political commentary, especially regarding the Vietnam War, which was being waged at its largest extent during the height of the series. Despite some elements of the show being considered revolutionary for its time, including Mike and Carol's sleeping arrangement, the Brady Bunch would maintain traditional family-friendly entertainment and avoid scandalous and challenging fare.
And if you noticed, when the series first started, Mike and Carol had separate beds. Then they got a queen-size bed.
No, that was, I think you might be blending your memories with
Partridge Family?
the Lucy show. With I Love
They
Lucy.
had separate beds.
I Love Lucy, they had a separate bed.
Yeah.
They never had a separate bed in the Brady Bunch. They were always a single bed. Yep.
Okay.
Every episode.
By the way, I don't know whose hand that is.
I thought.
I'm
I
sorry.
don't- It's deleted scenes is freaking out. I don't know whose hand that is in the bottom left corner. Could be Vincent Price visiting the family. I don't know. We'll get to that in a minute. Okay.
That's a great question, because that was, I think that was in story episode where they were having their picture taken. So
Oh, I see.
Probably the photographer.
could have been, because there was an episode where they had a family portrait taken. Oh no, but that was just the kids. The kids got together for a family portrait for an anniversary gift that I think Mike wanted to give to Carol. And it was just before, no, it was, I can't remember now, but the way that that Mike knew that something was hinky was because when the gift was given, she was wearing her glasses in the picture. Jan was wearing her glasses, and she didn't have the glasses at the time it was taken. And the reason they had to retake the picture was because she smashed into it with her bike because she wasn't wearing her glasses. And all the kids covered for her and pooled their money in order to pay for another picture to be taken. They went to the trouble of all wearing the same outfit they had worn before, and so on and so forth. The only flub is that Jan was wearing her glasses when the picture was taken, and they had to confess to Mike, and he was like, I would punish you guys, but I think you guys have all pretty much punished yourselves enough, and I respect you for, doing the responsible thing and paying for it and fixing it and so forth, and I appreciate that. That was the kind of show this was, very fair, even-handed kind of family relations, but they went through some real problems. Now, sometimes dealing with them in the half hour to an hour that they had. And yes, there is a difference. This show was originally slotted at an hour, and in syndication, they edited it down to a shorter run length. And in physical media, most of the restored episodes exist, but there are a few exceptions. There was a storyline that involved the never seen next door neighbors, the Ditmeyers, and they decided in the late 60s, early 70s style to address an ongoing what would you say, cultural situation of people, just normal people being nudists. So they had a pool, and they swam in the nude, and they had invited Cindy and Bobby over to go swimming, and they were going to go swimming, and they had no. And when Alice says, wait, let me see, what are you wearing? And realizes they're not wearing anything, she goes, oh, no, you don't. You're not going. Go get dressed, which is humorous. In context, we all thought it was kind of funny. In retrospect, it's very creepy and icky. And now, that does not exist, I don't believe, anywhere on
What was
physical
interesting
media.
is for any problems they had, it was always very amicable. It's like, this girl at school is bullying me. Well, just talk to her, honey. I talked to her and we worked it out. We're besties now. It's like, that doesn't work.
That might be a bit of an exaggeration, but yes,
Hey.
that's pretty true.
Was Mrs. Detmeyer played by Barbara Boucher? Just out of curiosity.
Don't know, never saw them.
Okay, all right.
You
I'm
never
just
see the
joking.
Detmeyers.
I'm
Yeah.
just imagining. That's all.
Well, you wouldn't want to see them. They're nudists.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, let's. Yeah.
No, I'm just imagining Greg Brady, like just being all.
Yeah. And let's not get into any behind the scenes shenanigans that got that these people got into. There's all kinds of stories out there. Let's just stick to the show.
From what I heard, with all due respect, it was fairly tame. Okay, it was. I mean, okay. Anyway, I'm not going to get.
There was a lot of great guest stars. Now, I think most people remember Davy Jones of the Monkees, right? That
yeah, you can't find that episode because it's because of the music rights.
Girl, look what you've done to me. Okay, great. We just got the stream taken down. Damn it.
Yeah. If he goes after the Brady Bunch, what he's going to do to us? Anyway.
Exactly. Well, no, he's dead now. So it's the company that.
By the way,
there wasn't a problem back then because Sherwood Schwartz did both the Monkees and the Brady Bunch, and that's why Davy Jones appeared on the show.
Why is Peter's shirt there? Are those two sewn on black pockets?
Yes. I don't know if they're sewn on, but yes, those are pockets.
Why?
Because the 70s.
Okay.
Because the 70s. Don't that is not even the worst possible. Now, speaking of guest stars, two big guest stars during the Hawaiian episodes, Don Ho and Vincent Price.
Oh, here's a fun fact.
Mm-hmm.
You know how Mike Brady's hair was always very straight?
Yep.
And then suddenly it was curly?
This is where it happened. That's right.
This is because his hair was always curly, and they would spend like 2 hours straightening it, and he had these different chemicals.
And it was completely impossible to keep it curly in the heat and humidity in Hawaii.
So they just went, we're just going to go
screw it. And so the next season, all the boys had curly hair to match his. They're like, it's easier to keep hair curly than to make
Greg
his
had
hair
curly
straight.
hair first, then Dad, and then the other boys.
Gotcha. But there you go.
Because if you look at the previous picture, Greg had the curly hair.
Yes. You were saying?
They're looking all shocked there because I think Greg is having a big wipeout in the Pacific because while surfing,
he was surfing and he just hit a bad wave and then he got cracked on the head by his surfboard, which absolutely happens all the time. No, I mean that seriously.
Okay, but you're missing the big part of this 3-part episode.
Yeah, they had found
this was the evil cursed totem that they found on the construction site because, of course, Mike Brady is over there.
The whole reason Mike is there is because he's overseeing. Yeah, exactly.
And the guy that's going, look, I'll pay for your whole family. Have a nice Hawaiian vacation while you're here. And then the kids discover that totem and all sorts of bad luck starts happening. I think Peter says, I'll take it if you don't want it. And then like a spider is on him in the middle of the night. And it's like, get it off me, like a tarantula and everything. And it's it was the curse. You're correct.
Exactly.
Like the local Hawaiians are telling him, no, that's a bad thing. You got to.
Then he had to take it back to a very specific place.
The Tomb of the Kings, I think, or something, right? Yes. So
where Vincent Price is scaring people off, and it turns out that he's just a guy who wants to be left alone and is scaring people off. And he feels bad that he scared the kids. I didn't mean to scare them.
He's an archaeologist that he feels never gets the credit, and he discovered all these treasures. I'm just going to keep them for myself. And then Mike says, "Well, you have to turn them in, or you're breaking the law. But what you could do. But look, we are going to be your witnesses, and we'll say you are the
museum."
Yes, we will say you are the one. We will back you up when you say you claim that you're the ones that discovered this stuff. And he got a job at a curator of the Hawaiian Museum for these items. So yes, so he doesn't have to live in the cave like a weirdo eating beans. Anyway,
which that's not even an exaggeration. That literally was what he was doing. Yeah.
I have a question. There's better food in Hawaii than beans. Jeez. Okay. Yeah. Is this where the shrunken head thing comes from that Vincent Price did? Or is this unrelated?
No, it is unrelated. It has nothing to do with this episode, but it was right around this time. That's absolutely right. He was doing commercials. I don't remember who the company was that did it, that gave you the implements and tools and whatnot. The only thing you had to supply was your own head. in the form of an apple. You would
Yeah.
take an apple, you would core it, you would I don't know if you even had to core it. You would peel it, and then you'd carve it using guides that this thing gave you and tools that it gave you. You could put hair on it that came with the little kit, and then when it dried out, they looked like shrunken heads.
So you can pretend one of them is the head of the Vanderbilt that went to go see that. Never mind. Never mind.
Well, I mean,
I think it was a
I do
or was it
remember
a
the
Rockefeller?
commercials.
It was one of those.
I do remember the commercials for this. Never got it because even I was like, it's basically a rotten apple. That's kind of gross.
It's funny,
It's
funny you mentioned that because my older siblings, my older brother had this kit, and I think they last a while. There might be some way to preserve them or something like that.
What happens is if you dry them out right, they actually kind of don't molder because literally they're dry. In fact, I kind of think, like I said, I didn't have it, so I didn't know the instructions on it. But I think you baked it or something, and it dried it out quickly. So they would keep because dry, mummified. Basically, you mummify an apple, but it's a rotten apple with fake hair on it.
A mummified
that's true.
apple.
That's exactly what it is.
It's like mummification, like mummies stay. I think that's what it is. But this has nothing to do with the Brady Bunch, apparently.
It doesn't.
Let's move on. Okay, so let's move on. The Brady Bunch Variety Hour. Look at
this was the height of 70s insanity. Folks, you've been with us as we've talked about variety shows. We've seen Donnie and Marie. We of course every year we watch the Star Wars holiday special, which is a variety show.
We did the Paul Lynde Halloween special.
We've done a few of those. Halloween special and some others. But this was the Brady Bunch. This was created by Sid and Marty Krofft. It lasted for, do you know how many episodes this lasted for?
I don't know.
9. Exactly 9 episodes.
Well, 9 was all it needed, probably. And I think Vincent Price guest stars in one of the episodes, doesn't he? In one of the variety shows.
That I don't remember.
I think I saw him in a suit, and I think he did guest star in one of them. Maybe they did a Halloween episode. I don't know, or a spooky episode.
I do know that Rip Taylor was recurring
that's
personality.
Funny.
So let me see. Do they say who the guests were? I don't have.
So Rip Taylor was there. Paul Lynde.
Kinda, yes.
Okay.
Kind of.
Right.
Yeah, that's actually kind of right. Yeah.
Man.
But there was and this was really kind of capitalizing on the music thing. They were trying, this was a Sherman Schwartz thing, just like the Monkees, trying to get the prefab group, in that whole style of the Monkees and the Partridge Family, that whole concept, that whole shtick. And there actually was some great music that came out with Barry Williams kind of leading, and Maureen McCormick doing vocals. But here, Florence Henderson got to do a whole lot more because Florence Henderson really was a professional singer. But it was weird. It was just weird.
Did they get another actress to play Jan in the variety show?
They absolutely did.
There's a fake Jan?
There's a couple of fake Jans, yeah. There's a fake Cindy, too, in one of the made-for-TV movies.
It'd be funny if there was a hypnosis thing, like this one little girl hypnotizes the family into thinking that she's the real Jan, and that this other girl, that Jan isn't Jan. That could have been an episode.
I also wanted to say that this variety show was the first time I started to think that Cindy was kind of cute. Look at her hair in that picture. I mean, that's like the best I think she ever looked. They purposely kept the curls. You notice she's not wearing pigtails anymore with curls, but they kind of did a hairstyle that kind of homages that,
Oh, wow. Do I have another picture from this special? Yeah, there's Vincent Price. So
there
he must have guest starred, yes, in one of the episods. So,
I'm back.
Yeah, I know. I know. Well, now I'm thinking. I don't know. I have no idea. But this was something else. And of course, there was a cartoon show. Is this right?
Yes, there was. I particularly love this show. This was on in a lineup in syndication, right next to a lot of the other Filmation shows at
Right,
the
like
time.
the Archies and things like that.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. In fact, there was even some references to the Archies. But this was also at the time that the Star Trek animated series was
Classic.
out. This only lasted for, I think, it was 2 seasons, a total of 22 episodes. These were definitely 30-minute episodes. They were much shorter. And every single episode, and again, this kind of perpetuated the whole musical thing, because every one of them ended with a musical, what do you call it? A song by the Brady kids. The whole idea was just like the Archies. They were a band that was, trying to get their music out there. And there was an album that came out and everything. But all the kids in this one, there is no fake anybody. Barry Williams, Maureen McCormick, Christopher Knight, Eva Plum, Mike Lookenland, and Susan Olsen all reprised their roles in this. No appearances by any of the adults, and they added, the obligatory animal companions for cartoon effect.
Yeah, there's that bird with the Merlin hat on or something.
His name was Marlin. Yep.
Marlin, yes, okay. And I think there was a couple of panda bears as well.
Ping and Pong. Yes.
Dude.
I know.
Did they speak with bad Chinese accents?
They didn't speak. They didn't.
Okay, there's that. Okay, there we go. But yeah, here we go. Kind of like in Jan there. She looks a little sassy. But of course, how old is she supposed to be on this show? So let's move on.
It was very clear that with the glasses, they were trying to give her the Velma kind of role.
I see.
In it. Yeah. So.
And of course, I don't know if there was more than one of these specials, but there was a very Brady Christmas. I do remember this. This was the reunion special.
I loved that one. Yeah.
Yes. And I don't. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, no, I was going to tell you that as far as the movies go, they had. Give me a second here. I got my list.
There's probably more than one, isn't there? Yeah.
There absolutely is.
Yeah.
Give me a second. My computer's not working with me here. So, so we did the Brady Hour. The Brady Girls Get Married in 81. The Brady Brides in 81. A Very Brady Christmas was 88. The Bradys in 1990. In 95, the series was adapted into a satirical comedy film. All new cast.
We'll get there.
Oh, okay.
We'll get there.
I'm sorry. I didn't
no, it's okay. No, it's okay.
And in fact, the Bradys was an attempt at reviving the series, but unfortunately, it was a little bit, because they're bringing in spouses and the families.
It's
of
getting
those
too
spouses,
crowded.
It got too big, and I don't think that the people writing for it had the writing chops. It had an inconsistent tone. A lot of it was a little too modern, as far as getting serious. So
they were leaving.
Really
they leave behind the '70s kitsch, basically, right? They
exactly.
Were saying, no, we
instead of and there was nothing wrong with moving it into a '90s style kitsch, and they didn't. They went into '90s, grimdark. Not quite that bad. I'm exaggerating, but.
What, does Alice have cancer or something, or it gets like that, or I don't know.
There was issues with a potential divorce from
Marcia. Was it
oh
Marcia?
Yeah, her too. No, I was going to say for Alice from what's his name, Sam the Butcher.
Oh, really? They were married.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, and there was some other family issues too, and they were always looking for not just the minor conflicts you normally have in life, but they were going for like big, hard hitting stuff. And it's like, you got to pick your lane. Is this going to be a sitcom, or is it going to be a drama? It really shouldn't be both, and it really shouldn't be a full on drama, considering it was originally a sitcom.
Yeah, and you don't want to. I think because maybe they're is it an embarrassment of the source material, or maybe they're feeling the people who watched it don't want to, like take it? I don't know. I never quite understand that, but then we go.
I don't understand if you're going to be embarrassed by the source material. Why are you even adapting it then?
Yeah. So here we have the Brady Bunch movie.
Yes.
Which I love. I don't know how you feel. I loved this movie at the time. For starters, it cast one of my favorite leading man actors in it, who I feel has not gotten enough attention over the years. Of course, he replaced Mark Harmon on NCS now, but Gary Cole, who I've always been a big fan of, and they have him playing Mike Brady, the
see.
dad, and I was a big fan of him on shows like American Gothic. He showed up in Sam Raimi's A Simple Plan. He's a good actor, and I'm glad that he got a chance to be a lead in this movie. Yeah. And
I love this movie for what it is.
Yes,
because it is very much a spoof,
sure.
And it does the trope of keeping the objects of the story in the time setting they come from, but taking place in the modern day, which makes them all the more
fish out of water.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
I seen this. Austin Powers also does this, having I don't even want to say James Bond style character, though that's clearly an influence in Austin Powers, but like how it's all the zany spy movies that come out in the 60s, and then just have them show up in the 90s, and just how ridiculous this is in the 90s, just like how the Brady Bunch family, this early 70s.
But this one, they don't even bother with time travel. You just, what? It just is.
And the other kids at school are all like they're not quite knowing what to do, because it's like I think they say things like they use modern slang. Is that Shelley Long as
It is.
Yes,
it absolutely
I remember that.
Is.
There's Gary Cole. Good casting here. I think that's Ben Stiller's wife as Marcia as well. I did enjoy this. The movie turned the Brady Bunch into the Addams Family without the Gothic. Yeah, basically.
Kind of. Yeah, that's a great analogy. Yeah, that's.
I would follow that, but I did enjoy this when it came out. I think it's good.
But you were right though. Christine Taylor, who wasn't she? What was the Ben Stiller movie she was in? The one with the Dodgeball. Wasn't she in Dodgeball?
Yes, she's been in a lot of movies. Yeah.
She was perfectly cast as Marcia. I mean, gosh, look at her. She just looks like Marcia.
Yes. I think all the kids were great in this movie, actually. I thought they did a good job casting. I love the actress playing Jan. And they play with things in this movie, like how Jan is almost developing a split personality, like her other side is telling her to take out your sister.
They made it very clear in the original series that she had this. She even refers to it in story of this middle
sibling,
and she's able to talk it out with. I think it was. I keep wanting to call her Ann B. Davis. It's not. It's what was Ann Davis's character's name? The housekeeper.
Yes.
You know who I mean. Ann B. Davis, the one who played their housekeeper.
Alice.
What was?
Oh, the name of the housekeeper.
Oh, Alice. Alice's name. Okay, yes, Alice.
And then Sam the Butcher shows up in the middle of the night, right? And he's saying, "What are you doing here, Sam?" "Oh, I'm just delivering some meat." And it's like,
because he's going to hook up with.
Yes, exactly. Which I thought was because people always.
Unfortunately, everybody in the chat is 30 seconds behind. But thank you guys for coming through for me. Yes. So in the original show, she was able to talk it out with Alice, who was a middle child herself. I think.
I see.
And you said you just need to find. Don't try to compete with either of your sisters. Find out what makes you, and go for it. And that's.
Go.
I mean, that's just
good. It's good advice.
It's absolutely good advice. It's parenting. It's whatever. But they really play it up in the movie as like she ends up with some real issues. Exactly.
Yeah, but they're the kids in the movie. I mean, look, good. They
even got a kitty carry-all, and it's spot on. It is the exact right doll. I mean, they paid attention to the details. This had to have been even filmed in the same house. Otherwise, they had to have been very, very meticulous about recreating the sets.
I think that what it is I think that this is both a spoof, but also kind of a love letter to the show. So I think that's what.
Well, I've heard it said, and I honestly think that it was Mel Brooks who said this. You can't spoof something unless you love it.
Yes. Oh,
and I think that was absolutely true about this.
Yes, you're right, Geek Flag. The house did show up on the X-Files. Yes.
Interesting.
In one of the later seasons. Oh, don't get me started. I think that was during the final season of the original show.
I take it wasn't that good in the last season.
Here's my problem. It's a problem that happens with all shows. If they become too popular, they almost become self-aware. I think this was a problem on Doctor Who as well.
Yeah.
That's a topic for another time. Anyway, here we go, and I think they have probably a big sing-off.
Keep on dancing all through the night.
Is this a nod to the variety show right here? Is that what this is?
Actually, no.
Oh, okay.
This is more of a, obliquely probably, but this was more specifically a nod to an episode where they actually did go on a national television show and perform a song. Greg was trying to there was a whole storyline within the original show where Greg was trying to break into music. He clearly was going down a wrong path where they wanted to strip away his entire identity and turn him into somebody else. The new Johnny Bravo. This was before that cartoon, by the way, folks. Johnny Bravo means something different to me than it does to all of you all. You fit the costume, and he'd do music and it didn't sound like him because they had mixed it so much. He's like, I don't want to do this. I want to do my own thing. And then they did a couple of shows, national talent shows and stuff like that. In fact, one of them was the one where they were trying to perform and Peter's voice starts to crack. And so they had to come up with a whole new song to kind of feature. Again, another one of those things where, don't get upset. Don't leave your brother out, whatever. Figure out how to make it work for you. Turn it into a strength. And then that's when they came up with sha-na-na-na-na-na-na-na, sha-na-na-na-na, and that whole bit with where they give him a little bit of a solo where his voice cracking kind of, adds to it.
I think a lot of people had that song, so I don't think you're alone.
Yep.
I probably should include it in the album. I didn't even bother with the paraphernalia, which I'm sure there was a ton of and then of course we had the very Brady sequel, which I don't know if I saw or not, but I need to check it out if I haven't. Maybe I need to.
I did see it, and I vaguely remember it, which tells me it probably wasn't as good as the original. But yes, they go back and start in on. Well, they go to the same well. They're going back to the same tropes from the original. So obviously this one is referencing the Hawaii vacation. Yeah, exactly.
And I'm thinking perhaps in this episode they should, if you can't get Vincent Price, get Jeffrey Rush to play the same character, maybe. But I don't know if that's what they did. But
interesting,
because he did a good impersonation of Vincent, because he was the Vincent Price character in the remake of House on Haunted Hill, and I realized, he could have probably done a good thing. I don't know. I got I recently for $10 you get a double pack of both movies. I figure I'm going to check it out that way. So
there you go.
And
that's the show, folks. Thanks so much for stopping in.
Well, we're almost 48 minutes in. We got to get to the news. We got a lot of news. I'm going to try and just chop through this stuff here. Let's see here.
You did save the AI ones, right, for another time.
Well, we'll get to them.
Okay.
Yes, Ben Affleck and all that. Oh, it might help if I actually had the. Where did it go? I had my. There it is. Okay. Dolores Muniz. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Dolores Munoz Ledo. She, my gosh, I felt so bad about this. This one I completely missed. This one is almost a month old, and I just feel terrible about this one.
107.
107. Can you believe that? I had no idea.
Yep. Animation World mourns the death of Maria Dolores. How do I say her name again?
Munoz.
Ledo. Okay. Munoz. Ledo Ortega, also known as Marcela Septién. After the National Association of Actors from Mexico announced the death of the voice actress on February 13th, animation accounts started to spread the news that the voice who dubbed Chip from Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers and Sorceress and He-Man and the Masters of the Universe had passed away at 107 years old. She was the oldest dubbing star in the world. She was born in Mexico City and was hired by Metro-Goldwyn Mayer MGM in 1944. Holy cow, she was around in the golden age of Hollywood. Okay.
Yes.
MGM had more than 20 Mexican voice actors in New York for their films, launching and furthering their careers in dubbing, including Pablo Ruiz Nunez, Edmundo Garcia, Jose Catano, Armando Velasco, Roberto Ayala. Oh, I take it this is so they can dub the movies and send them to South America.
Right.
That makes sense. Munoz Ledo was also the Latin American voice of Adrian Panino in Rocky IV. Look at that.
Yep.
Anita Louise and Marie Antoinette, Donna Reed, and They Were Expendable, and Ben Arthur in The Golden Girls. I have to tell you something. I really think sometimes dub actors are the unsung actors in the world. Because I think you hear,
unfortunately, people tend to look at like Japanese films that are dubbed into English,
like bad,
as being bad. But honestly, some of what you really should be looking at more if you need to see American or English dubs is things like some of the spaghetti westerns. Those were done, those were done much better. But honestly, if you've ever watched any of these films in Spanish and listened to those dubs, and Spanish, they're really done well.
Oh yeah,
and her work was just amazing.
Well, a lot of Japanese voice actors in Japan for a lot of the anime shows actually got their start doing voices of American actors in the Japanese dubs. Like one of my favorite anime characters is Lupin the Third, and the voice actor of him was known in Japan as the voice of Clint Eastwood in Clint Eastwood movies when they were brought over there, which I thought was interesting. But no, they really are kind of the unsung actors. And the interesting thing about a lot of those Italian movies, all Italian movies back then were dubbed regardless of whatever the actor was. So they might, if they had Clint Eastwood, they'd actually get Clint Eastwood and have Clint Eastwood do his own dubbing for the movie, but then they might have another actor seeking for one of the Italian actors, or if there's a French actor. Because again, a lot of these European movies, they would hire people from all over Europe to be in them.
Right.
So you could have multiple different people in a movie though. But no, I rest in peace. My goodness. But she
107 years old. God bless.
Yeah. I mean, these are the people that brought our culture to the rest of the world, and they deserve our respect. So rest in peace. And Stephen Hibbert dies. Actor who played the Gimp in Pulp Fiction was 68. He's
in a lot more than that. I'm not sure why they have to go to that one specifically.
I don't know why either. I'm telling you, I always feel like,
of course, we went with TMZ on this. That's probably why.
Well, it's like Brian Dennehy dies, and he was in Tommy Boy, and I'm like, yeah, he was in Tommy Boy, and he was fine in Tommy Boy. He was in a lot of other movies besides Tommy
Boy. Better films that
mean,
most of us actually remember him.
Yes,
from.
Well, I mean, I like Tommy Boy, but he that was more like a support role. He wasn't the star. Like, watch FX; he's great in FX. It's just, but yeah, Stephen Hibbert, 68. The actor also appeared in Austin Powers and the Cat and Hat, has died. He was 68. The actor's family revealed that he had died on Monday of a heart attack in Denver, according to TMZ. Our father, Stephen Hibbert, passed away unexpectedly this week. They said in a statement, his life was full of love and dedication to the arts and his family. The family added, according to the outlet, he will be dearly missed by many. Born in Fleetwood, England, Hibbert got his start as a writer for Late Night with David Letterman from 1984 to 86.
You don't realize the stuff that he wrote for. He wrote for Tiny Toons Adventures, Darkwing Duck,
Animaniacs.
Yes.
I hate to think he's one of the writers they brought in for the new crew, and they said, we're doing our own thing, thanks, and they kicked him out.
No. Okay. Yeah, they didn't bring him in. Mad TV. Remember Mad TV? That was him too.
I remember Mad TV. I remember the wonderful family feud between the Lord of the Rings group and the gang from Cold Mountain. They both had come out around the same time.
Yeah.
And like they kept, the host says they took on Middle Earth. Yeah, but you'll never take Cold Mountain. And then like you see Gimli hold up his axe, getting really angry. And it's But Hibbert also co-wrote 1994's It's Pat the Movie with then wife Julia Sweeney, who originated the androgynous Saturday Night Live character.
Oh, right.
And also appeared in movies like Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me, and The Cat in the Hat. He made his on-screen debut in the 1987 episode of Newhart before guest starring on shows on Just Shoot Me, Jericho, True Jackson VP, and Dr. Ken. What is True Jackson VP?
It was a TV series.
Okay, I guess I must have missed that one. But yeah, just
he actually has he still has an upcoming role as a character named Pat in a movie called Robot Dracula. But it's listed as filming, so it may or may not be completed. I don't know.
Gotcha. And apparently deleted scenes found in App Story, so I'll have to look for that. But yeah.
There you go.
All right, we'll have to cover that.
But yeah.
Is that in the Get Before
welcome, Jesse Guajardo. Good to see you.
All right.
Yeah, take it away. I don't know anything about this.
Did I send this to you?
Yes, you did. I think so.
Okay, I don't even remember.
If you didn't send this to me, then it must have come from well, it came from one of our
well, it's okay. No, I mean it's an interesting
two guys
story,
out in the field there, Marc Malnekoff and Geek Flag with Nate Knows. They tend to submit a lot of articles to us.
Toshihiro Nagaoshi, the creator of the Yakuza franchise, revealed his latest project at the 2025 Game Awards in December. Now, just 3 months later, NetEase is pulling the plug and will stop all funding for the game's development team. According to a Bloomberg report, Nagaoshi Studio is having its funding cut off by NetEase, best known recently as the publisher and developer of Marvel Rivals. A spokesperson for NetEase said that they will stop financing the studio from May. Sony's games division is still performing well, though. It's disappointing in terms of the events following the Gang of Dragon's exciting reveal. After feeling the highs and lows of Yakuza Kiwami 3, Gang of Dragon had a chance to do something truly special, featuring Ma Dong-seok as the main protagonist, as well as Kabukiko district setting. Gang of Dragon revealed an all-killer, no-filler style trailer akin to the iconic B-grade Hollywood films. Now those hopes and dreams have been dashed. This is actually very bad, actually. I'll say this, because what I believe what this is the man who originated the Yakuza series decided I'm going to go off on my own and make another series kind of in the same vein as the Yakuza series, but maybe doing his own thing. Kind of like, because this is what creators sometimes do, though. Because
of ultimately they end up getting disillusioned with the company that they're working with. Maybe too many changes, too much for modern audiences.
Possibly. I mean, I don't think the Yakuza series has gone downhill like that, but Yakuza basically finished with 6, and yet they're going back and they're kind of remaking the old ones, and maybe he just didn't want to do that. So, and I know you have the Kiwami series as a spin-off series, but it's not the same thing. He might have wanted to do his own thing, but that's too bad. Nagoshi's possible closure is also the latest in seemingly never-ending stories of studios closing down. See, the sad thing is that this contracting of the gaming industry is affecting things that I might actually have liked to have played, and not just the junk like Dragon Age, the Veilguard, and things like that. But this is the history of gaming. I mean, I've had studios I've loved close down over the decades, which is really sad. But yeah, I guess this sucks. This is a game where I guess it's not going to see the light of day. Okay. So, yeah. Okay. Moving on. Yakuza's fun, though, if you ever want to play the Yakuza series, though.
Jesse says, at this point, game companies should stop announcing new games until they are ready for release and going to GameStop stores within 3 months of release. I would say not only that doesn't only apply to games. I would say that applies to movies at this point too, especially big franchise ones. You really need to be a lot further along in development before you make an announcement. I would even, if I was in marketing, I would say, you know what? Let's keep it a secret. And if it leaks out, we can play with that and we can use it to our advantage, kind of stuff. Build up excitement for it and say, we didn't announce that this was coming out, but now we announce
You know who does that, who's very good about that actually, is Capcom. at least from what I've noticed over the years. Like they announced, I think Resident Evil 9 over the summer, and it just came out like a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
That's the point. They usually do like a 6-month. Like if they're well in development, figure in 6 months is going to release. I remember that with Resident Evil 2 remake, where they announced it at the summer, and then it came out early winter of the next year. So they're pretty good about like not just announcing something and then 3 years later we're wondering where the game is. All right, they're usually pretty deep into development when they release the game. So speaking of Capcom,
Yeah.
this I'd mentioned earlier in the stream. I was doing a preamble about the how I had entered one of these create your own
Yes.
robot master, and we can see some of them here. Let me see if I can make it real big for myself. But hold on, let me bring it up on my own YouTube page so I can maybe zoom in, because I was trying to get this so it was as big as it could be.
Well, that's better than it looks on my thumbnail.
Yeah, hold on. Well, let me read the article. They probably have the names in the article, though.
Yeah.
So this is during Capcom's March 2026 Spotlight Showcase. It revealed the final 6 designs of the Mega Man Dual Override Design Contest. Development will now pick its favorite, reveal the winner at a later date. Here's a look at the final 6. So, okay, you going to name the final 6 in this article? Of course not. Why would you do that? Hold on. Do you mind giving me 1 sec? I'm going to bring up my own presentation. Give me 1 second.
Nope,
I can read it right here. That's why I made the image nice and big, because I suspected it wasn't in the article. I'm looking at that delicious McDonald's.
Well, I can see that the middle one in the bottom is the Juggle Man.
The Juggle Man, yes. So it looks like he's juggling. Next,
Valve Man.
What?
Valve Man, who looks like he can attach to a fire hydrant.
Oh, I was thinking. Oh, that's what he is. I thought it was a vacuum cleaner.
Okay. Yeah, no, because it shows him like the claw going to attach to a fire hydrant.
Yes.
And Cactus Man, who has spikes on him.
Yes, Cactus Man. I can't read the one in the top left.
If there is a name in the center and the top left, I can't see it.
The center I can see. It's called Swiper Woman, because she has a vacuum cleaner.
Well, I guess it's better than calling her Mega Suck.
Oh, okay. And then what is it? Recycle Man to the right.
Recycle Man.
Well, wouldn't that make him the hero?
I mean,
but yeah, that looks like some kind of cake type thing. Is that like a cupcake thing? What is that going on there in the left corner?
I can't tell.
I don't know. They look clever, but I think it looks pretty neat myself. Let me get out of my own keynote. Okay, but bring it back. But yeah, I don't know. I'm a big fan of these contests. I'm actually glad they're still doing this. I have no idea if kids are still entering this thing, or if it's just adults now entering this thing. But I don't know. You can get a closer look at each design on Capcom's own contest page. I'll find out who that other one was. Give me 1 minute. All right, that is Design L, and what is it? It is yes.
Maybe it doesn't have a name. It's just Design L.
Cleanser Man.
Cleanser Man. That's got a heck of a ring to it.
Cleanser Man.
Cleanser Man.
It's a washer machine.
There you go.
You understand? It's like Spin Cycle. Look at
Yes.
that. Okay. All right. So there we go. So I don't know. All 6 of the finalists are going to get their names in the credits of this game, and of course the winner will have their robot actually in the game itself. So hope that's holding up development of this sequel that I'm greatly looking forward to, though. But yeah. Big fan of the Mega Man games. Dr. Wily basically looks like your typical mad scientist with the mustache and with his Austrian, German, Swedish style accent or whatever, when he talks. It's just, he's the mad scientist. He wants to take over the world with his robots. Do you understand? So
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you are the good robot Mega Man created by the good Dr. Light.
Boy, that's pretty on the nose.
Not like the Dr. Light from DC. That's a bad doctor.
Well, yeah, good point.
Mega Suck. I'd buy that for $1. But yeah, I don't know. This looks cool. I like the fan that there is interaction with the fan community. I think more companies should do stuff like this. And, if you get the fans involved, maybe. I know that Doctor Who did this ages ago in the Tennant era when they had a kid in England was able to design a monster for one of the episodes. Remember, an alien monster?
Yes, I
Yes.
do, and I remember the specific use of it. It was the Absorbaloth that was from the sister planet to Raxacoricophalopatorius.
Yes.
The planet
Yes.
was called Clom.
Yep.
And I didn't really care for the fact that part of the story involved a very adult joke that I was like, the kid that created this is watching this. That's wrong.
Oh, because just what's left of her is a face inside a tile. And
let's not go any farther with it than
let's
that.
move on. This is a kid show, and Mega Man
Yeah,
is
yeah,
still
yeah.
a kid-friendly series too. So
Like it to
not
be,
easy,
yes.
but kid-friendly in theme. You know, it's
Yeah.
Ruby Spears did an animated Mega Man series back in the 90s. I guess after they yeah, because they didn't get the right. I guess they didn't have the rights to DC stories anymore, so they got the rights to Mega Man. So you can actually check that out on DVD.
Interesting.
Yeah, they had it. They actually did a Mega Man animated series. Mario Day is this week.
Happy Mario Day, everybody.
Okay. Some festivities are going around, like, 50 cents off any Mario game on the eShop. I'm joking because I'm thinking this is probably not going to be anything exciting.
Imagine if this weekend you had the opportunity to go to Nintendo World.
We'll see.
Just saying.
Maybe it's coming up. So let's see here. They are going to have some sales. Mario Day, it's kind of like May the 4th, except this is March 10th. Get it?
Yeah.
March. Okay. Annual celebration takes place March 10th to honor the world's most famous plumber. Mario Day typically culminates in some fun activities, new game releases, sometimes even a special console bundles deal, new hardware, and things of this nature. In years past, we saw the new Mario Lego sets, the announcement of the Super Mario Brothers movie, and Mario releases for Switch Online. I think I'm saying it the way I used to say it as a teenager. Last year, we got a new Nintendo Switch OLED model with Super Mario Brothers Wonder that delivered $70 in overall savings. On top of that, Nintendo had a bunch of physical games on sale like Super Mario Odyssey, Super Mario 8 Deluxe, blah, blah. What is they doing this year? I don't care about years past. So this year, you can go into a GameStop, and if you go in dressed as Mario, you can get a $5 store credit.
Yay.
I'm hearing crickets there.
Actually, though, I could totally see doing that for nothing. I'd do it just to do it.
Could you do it at multiple GameStops and get a $5 credit each at multiple stores and get enough?
I don't know how they would prevent you from doing it. Maybe just don't go in and say, yeah, the other place gave me $5. You're going to give me $5 too? Yeah, maybe don't say that.
Is this any GameStop or is this just a New York City store? Ugh. I have to buy a ticket to New York City to dress as Mario and get a $5 credit.
Yeah, that sounds like a good investment.
Yes, there you go. One lucky Mario costume wearer will get a free Nintendo Switch too, and apparently everyone in costume will receive a $5 bonus store credit just for showing up. In honor of Mario Day, we're attempting to break the world record, largest gathering of people dressed as Mario. This is only in New York City.
Yeah.
Okay, they're going to have some sales going on too this week.
Well, in New York City right now, they need something because, the people are literally fleeing that state right now. So
yeah. So here we go. Moving on to Jessica says this looks like a fun game in the Mega Man series. Yeah, we just covered that. Yeah, it does look fun. Yeah. Resident Evil Requiem. I'm not going to spend too much time on this except for the fact that it is selling like gangbusters. This is the big Capcom release this year so far, at least.
Have you played it, or do you know anything about it personally? Not
played it. I did watch the trailer for it. I love the trailer because the lead actor in it, she's some girl that's like a file clerk at the FBI or I don't know. She has like a messy desk, and the boss calls her into the office. I know that this is the abandoned hotel where your mother was brutally murdered in, but I think your best bet to get over it, I think you need to headline this case and go investigate on your own and go there. And I'm thinking only in Japan would they think this is what we do in the United States. For starters, we wouldn't put her
Actually,
on a
no,
case.
I could totally see that happening in the United States because people don't give a damn.
Next thing I see is her in the place, and I think she's hanging upside down, and there's something nasty. I'm just like, and apparently she suffers from anxiety issues and things like that, probably because her mother was brutally murdered.
Or maybe because he's hanging upside down and about to be killed. That would cause some anxiety.
Yeah, but it's doing very well though. Sold 5 million copies in just 5 days. Another hit for publisher Capcom. This morning, press release stated the company's The Resident Evil blockbuster had already passed the sales milestone following a hugely successful launch this weekend. Requiem's launch appears to be the biggest in recent franchise history, hitting 5 million sales faster than Resident Evil Village and the remakes of 2 and 4. Doing very well.
Yeah.
And there's not even a hot vampire chick that
Yeah.
that was in Resident Evil Village. Apparently, they didn't intend for this creature to become like a sex symbol, but I think it's because it came out during the pandemic and men were held up in their houses too long. They were like, she's kind of hot.
Are you talking about the one? What was it?
She's wearing like a southern hat or something, like the old school Victorian, like early 20th century hat. Yes. And she's very tall. Yes.
It ran into a whole bunch of kinks
yes.
that are apparently very popular.
That Capcom was probably unaware of when they made the character, or maybe not.
No, maybe not. Let's not give them too much benefit of the doubt here.
Anyway, this is the follow-up to that game. So this one apparently I think takes place in an abandoned hotel, which I would not want to go into, say for anything. These are horrible locations in these games that I wouldn't want to touch with a 10-foot pole, but looks fun. Yeah, if I ever get a system that can run it, I might try it out someday. Because right now I'm still stuck in
unfortunately, if this stuff was for PC, you wouldn't have any problem.
Yeah, we'll see. Is it on Mac?
Anyway. Is it on Mac? I
don't know. I almost felt like
do they make games for Mac? I think Mac is just for AI. And
I blame Steve Jobs for that. He was, it's not for games. Okay, thanks, Steve. But since I was mainly a Nintendo console player at that point anyway, it didn't matter to me. All right, moving on. I think they're saying, are there actually 30 weeks in a year? I didn't even think about looking that up. You can ask Alexa. I don't know how many weeks are in a year.
52.
Yeah, 52 weeks.
Okay, so there is enough. Okay, they could dominate, man, with 30.
525,600 minutes.
Okay, there you go. So people are skeptical. Paramount Warner Brothers merger, Hollywood wonders how Combo will pull off 30 theatrical films a year. When David Ellison saved Paramount from being swallowed up by Sony 2 years ago, he was perceived around town as a hero. Now he's in the position to take over Warner Brothers. Last thing he wants to be known as the guy who collapsed Hollywood. On Monday's call with Wall Street analysts, the Paramount CEO, by identifying himself as a producer and lifelong fan of film and television, few, if any, entertainment conglomerate chief executives refer to themselves as producers, and it seemed like it was Ellison's way of quelling the anxiety and ire that's out there as the motion picture industry stands poised to lose its second major studio in 7 years. Yes, but is that Ellison's fault, though?
No,
Warner's was in horrible trouble because of stupid decisions made over the years, probably dating even back to the 90s. So I'm sorry. I feel awful about this, but at least another movie studio is owning them. We'll see how it works. This is the most anti-competitive merger that violates the fundamental principles of the Sherman Antitrust Act, an old Rival Studio insider said. Probably someone from Disney.
I was just going to say, this is the exact same thing I got into with somebody. I don't know why I keep getting into stupid arguments with Joe Nobodies and randos on the internet, but antitrust, blah 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 blah. And I said, that would have been a good argument if you went back to when Disney bought 20th Century Fox. If you went back to, and I listed like 3 or 4 other previous to that. I'm like, at this point, it kind of works against you, because they can go in and say, really, you're going to tell us we can't do that, but you told all these other people they could? What is your bias against us?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
They literally have to do this just to compete. There's a give and take to antitrust. On the one side, you don't want companies to be so big that they run everything, but you also don't want a couple of them that are real big and then a couple of them that just can't compete because they're too small. Those ones that are too small need to come together just to compete.
This was my thought too about this merger. If you want my personal thought, I was terrified of the Warner Brothers back catalog being evaporated. I'm keeping hope that this will not happen with the Paramount merger, because Paramount's been pretty good about physical media. Even if they don't release movies themselves, they'll usually lend them out to boutique labels to release physical media. So,
I have a great deal of faith that they want to make money. You know,
Oh, yes.
I've said in Liquid Lunches that I am under no illusion that Ellison Jr. here is in any way, you know, Mr. Woke Base guy. He's mired in the Hollywood woke swamp, but I do see him as somebody who is willing to put that aside because he wants to make money. And that's what we really, really need, because they'll start looking at, well, what's going to sell? Not something that pushes all the fans away. Maybe let's start making something that, you know, is actually good.
Just go back to making movies again and not this nonsense. There aren't 30 days on the calendar is a common criticism heard by many studio sources. With the Paramount Warner Brothers Discovery merger expected to close during the Q3 subject, we're ready to piece together the Q4 2026 and calendar year 20 slates of the combined studios. A Paramount Warner Brothers slate in 2027 already counts as 27 movies. So I want to say, well, they're almost there. Right?
Well, and here's the other thing too. I think that corporations in this country have lost sight of some very key points that are important to remember when it comes to making money. Speaking of which, thank you so much for the $2 Farty Fox. I'm presuming that's over on Netter's channel. Yes. Thank you so much for that, Lady Mist. Super appreciate it.
I always love the description that shows up underneath it.
Shiba dog shaking his body from left to right, surrounded by hearts. No, it's farting out hearts. Let's be honest. That's what it is. And what was it? Netter said something, because I did a little shake of my butt the other day. She's like, "Oh, Farty Fox." I said, "No, you don't want anything coming out of my back end. No, you know, that would be bad. You wouldn't think hearts." But these companies are losing track of the fact that they exist to make money, and the best way to make money is not by being namby-pamby and you know, safe. You make money by taking risks. And I really do think the Ellisons realize that, because look at this. Look at the money they're putting
they're
out.
also talking about putting out comedies, which I think is long overdue, and they just need to be good comedies.
As a matter of fact, I just saw that WDW Pro, just before we went live, put out a video talking about how it looks like Hollywood is getting back to doing comedy again. And by comedy, we mean real comedy, not afraid to offend.
Yeah. I mean, come on, we're living in a ridiculous decade. There's a lot to make fun of right now, and, you know, all over the place. So just, I don't know. He was basically saying, though, and another quote of his, though, was, well, when I say 30, I'm thinking 15 from Paramount, 15 from Warner Brothers. Because they're running two studios now, basically. I mean, I know it's...
Right.
I don't know. David Zaslav sells $114 million worth of Warner Brothers Discovery stocks after WD clinches Paramount Skydance.
I hate to, well, I don't hate to toot my own horn. I love to toot my own horn. don't anybody clip that. But the fact is that this was never about what was best for Warner Brothers. It was never about what was best for Hollywood or anyone else. It was always about what was best for David Zaslav. He went in looking to make money for himself. It was very clear, and it almost really blew up in his face when he got called on it. But anyway, you should go ahead. I'll get more into it.
Sure. David Zaslav, president and CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery, filed to sell just over $114 million worth of stock in the company. His sale of the shares come less than a week after the Warner Brothers Discovery clinched a deal to sell itself to Paramount Skydance for $31 a share after Netflix walked away from its deal with Warner Brothers. Zaslav is selling 4,149 shares of Warner Brothers Discovery stock with an aggregate market value of $114,118,256, and I assume change, per SEC filing from the company Tuesday. Mm-hmm. The data stock sale was listed March 3rd. He's taken the money and run. That's basically what I'm saying here. Okay, I don't. This is what he did it for. This was not about, you know, I mean, I think maybe Warner Brothers may end up being healthier, but he was there just to how how fat can we get this pig to sell it for as much as we can and just sell it to market? I think that's what all this stuff like the Harry Potter series and the Gunverse, I think this is all to prop it up like this stuff is worth a lot more than it is. But to be fair, though, I suspect Paramount's going to end up getting the better end of this deal because I suspect that Warner Brothers owns a lot of stuff that they can mine. So we'll see.
Yep.
Any thoughts, though?
No. I do get that. I agree with the idea that it would have been better if this was not happening at all.
Yes.
If we could keep studios separate. However, this is the reality of the business. But I've been thinking about this. I want everyone to understand that none of these things happens in isolation. This is one of the reasons why, again, we try not to talk a lot about politics, but unfortunately, politics and world events directly impact just about every area of life. So you got to be mindful of them. This whole little dust up that's going on overseas right now. Remember, part of Paramount's financing was coming from countries overseas.
Oh,
and
yes,
they may very well decide, you know what? We're not sure we trust the United States. Maybe let's not do this thing. So,
and if they pull out, then this deal falls through.
Well, there's another reason that this deal might fall through, and that's because again, it comes down to politics, and a lot of people not real happy about the current administration's unilateral decisions here. I'm sorry, folks. I don't care what side of the aisle you're in. The use of the term war crimes would actually be very, very appropriate, legally speaking. And I could talk about that another time, but let's just understand that it's very possible that it may not be very popular politically to uphold this. The antitrust side might have their hand forced here. So I don't know what's going to happen, but these are things that if you were a betting person, and if you're a stock market speculator, you absolutely are, pay attention to these things and make your own decisions.
Oh my goodness. Is that, and to bring this back to what Zaslav is doing here, he's figuring this is as good as it's going to get, dump the stock and get out.
I actually hadn't thought it through that far, Boomer, but you're right. You're absolutely
especially
right.
If the other bidders that were teaming up with Paramount pull out because they don't like the shenanigans going on. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, what a mess.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, but that's okay because we at least have some good television to look forward to.
Possibly, yeah.
Did you watch the trailer?
Oh, not this. No, I thought you were going on to a different article. My apologies.
No, this trailer. Did you watch it?
Oh crap!
I don't know if did you. I don't know if you got a chance to or not.
Check the description of tonight's show. I said it is Green Lantern with neither green nor lantern.
Yes. Well, here's the thing. Okay. All right, let me read a little bit from the article. I don't want to spend too much time on this stuff. Okay, I mean too much time on the article because I have a rant. The Green Lanterns are ready for action in the new DC universe. Really?
Are they? What kind of action are
really?
They ready for? Because it's not the kind of action you expect from a superhero show.
HBO unveiled the first trailer for DC Studios' Lantern, set to premiere in August. Lantern centers around Hal Jordan, Kyle Chandler, and new recruit John Stewart as they investigate a murder in Nebraska. As Green Lanterns, the two are intergalactic peacekeepers who wear emerald rings that give them the power to create green light constructs of any shape or size, which you will not see on this show. I'm kidding. Maybe you will. Okay.
I know. It doesn't look like you will.
The two must use their abilities to uncover a dark mystery and a reckoning that could destroy them all. The trailer shows the buddy cop relationship between Hal and John as the elder Green Lantern shows the new recruit the ropes. In the opening moments, Hal drives a car off a cliff and forces John to use his quick thinking and Green Lantern powers to save himself. The two must learn to work together to solve the mysterious murder in the small town. There's a quick shot of the Green Lantern costume, a ring, and the power battery, plus a reference to Chip an extraterrestrial Green Lantern who looks like a squirrel. Oh, oh, uh, uh,
I'm glad you
okay,
referenced
I'm
Chip.
done. I'm done. I can't do
I
this
would hate for
anymore.
them to actually show the character, you know?
I yes, yes, he says, I don't talk to the other Green Lanterns, they're aliens. What am I getting? Well, the green translates for you.
Right.
But even still, yeah, here's what I think of this show. I think Jon Stewart, oddly enough, is acting like Jon Stewart. He looks like Jon Stewart. He's acting
Mhm.
like Jon Stewart. He's just stuck in this horrible series. For some reason, I guess the ring gets passed down, or he's not allowed to wear the ring, which doesn't make any sense. Because if you're training someone how to be a Green Lantern, he should be having the ring on at all times to, do do the ring stuff, right? Learn
Right,
how to use the
exactly.
ring.
Yes.
And then Hal Jordan, I guess, isn't wearing the ring either, but he has a costume in his closet because, of course, the Green Lantern wears a costume. He doesn't make the costume out of the ring, which is what I thought he did.
I don't know what to tell you. I
Um,
don't know what to tell you.
oh, I have other rants. So theories on this. I suspect that James Gunn will later on say, "Oh, this was always an Elseworlds project. It was never going to be part of the proper DCU." I don't know.
That is always the potential fallback position for them. That is true.
I think that this is they keep comparing it to True Detective, True Detective, True Detective. Can we? Season 1 of True Detective, really good. Season 2, terrible. Season 3, okay, but I don't think it stuck the landing. And then you had Season 4, which I heard was just awful. And can we stop pretending that now in the year 2026 that True Detective is this big thing anymore and that we need to keep referencing it? I'm sorry. And I'm sorry, this show almost feels like they had a True Detective season scripted and they didn't want to do another season as True Detective, so they just slapped Green Lantern onto it. That's what this feels like. This does not feel like a Green Lantern series at all. I feel it's very disrespectful to Hal Jordan. I feel it's disrespectful to Jon Stewart, too, if I'm being honest here, because Jon Stewart's already ready to be the Green Lantern. He's a Marine. He's trained. He
Right.
can do the things. He was chosen. The ring chooses the next Lantern. That's it.
Exactly.
End of story. If it decides to leave you, it leaves you. It's not, I pass the ring down to you. That's not how this works.
Right.
I
Well,
don't.
it actually, technically, it kind of is, because there is a lot of precedent for lanterns creating new rings themselves in the field. You get like a field promotion. I need assistance.
Okay.
Your ring determines that, yes, this person that you want to give a ring to is worthy. Stealing something from the Mjolnir construct, and allows you to fashion a ring for them. But yeah, that doesn't seem to be what's going on here, if we're honest.
Jessica says, Troy, I'm afraid to say this, but the Green Lantern movie we got a long time ago may have been the best live action Green Lantern stuff we'll ever get.
A lot of people are saying, yeah, for as bad as they thought the Ryan Reynolds film was, this makes that stuff look good.
I'm tired of this type of show. I'm tired of these shows that always hint at the fantastic but have to keep it grounded for most of the show. Like, you'll be lucky if you get like one power per episode.
This is what I'm talking about.
This.
This is that model of we want to do this, that, and the other, but we don't want to commit to it. We're going to do it on the cheap. Okay, fine, but it's never going to be a success. You're pretty much guaranteeing failure. Either crap or get off the pot.
Wouldn't a Green Lantern series in space make more sense? Where they're doing a thing on the road in space and going to different alien planets, and
there is such an opportunity for James Gunn to get his what's it called?
DCU.
Well, no, I was going to say his whole Guardians of the Galaxy shtick on by using the Guy Gardner character they've already introduced and seeing the Green Guardians kind of introduced as background characters,
like the squirrel. In a space opera comedy-ish kind of thing. But they're not that smart, apparently. The whole tone of this show feels off. It feels like a gritty, like True Detective type show, but that's not what Green Lantern is, and
No.
don't say it
Yeah.
could be other things. It could be a gritty detective show, maybe a Batman series that could
Yeah.
work. Or there are probably other characters in the DC canon like that. Maybe the Spectre. They could do a Spectre series. Maybe that might have been interesting. See, a Spectre series with a dark tone might be interesting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't understand this. And I don't know who this is for, because it's not for the Green Lantern fans, because it's ignoring the canon. But I think it thinks the audience knows who the Green Lantern is. Oh, I know, I recognize the Ring thing. No, you don't, because they've never done anything with the Green Lantern except for that one movie.
Right.
I don't.
I mean, there is something to be said for going ahead and doing something for a built-in audience and just assuming that they know. But if you're not going to do that, then there is a way that it has to be done, and they're just not thinking this through.
Wasn't Hal Jordan a veteran Air Force pilot? I believe so.
Yes,
There
he
should be
was.
mutual respect between these two men. Maybe there is on the show, but they seem very antagonistic.
Actually, well, it would be great if they had a friendly antagonism, right?
Doesn't look friendly.
Like if the one calling the other one a zoomie on a regular basis. Okay, Leatherneck, or whatever,
Because I mean, that's why I often argued at the beginning of this that maybe a Guy Gardner, maybe having Guy Gardner instead of Hal Jordan in this with Jon Stewart would have made more sense, because nobody likes Guy Gardner. So
yes, the antagonism there would have made perfect sense. Yes,
but people like Hal Jordan, they like Jon Stewart, and I don't know how this is going to end. It's probably going to end with the death of Hal Jordan, and that's how the ring.
Oh, almost certainly. That's why they cast him so old. So going into it, that's what they're going to do, and so really fuck the fans.
Would have been better if they made a Martian Manhunter series. Oh, we got plenty of him though on the Supergirl show though. I'm kidding. Of course.
Oh God.
So,
and Smallville too. So I mean,
he was on Smallville. I remembered that.
Yes.
That might have been interesting. A Green Lantern Hal Jordan with Martian Manhunter team up.
Mm-hmm.
That might have been interesting, because I don't know. None of this makes any sense. James Gunn and the Creator Show are on video multiple times before the show was even making fun of the Green Lanterns. Yeah, they think it's silly. That's what it is. And
right.
I'm tired of people
in a way, I
think the stuff is silly.
I really think this is also them. This is their way of, what do you call it? The whole defund the police attitude that's come into this country, because basically that's what the Green Lanterns are. They're the space police, right?
Yeah. Kyle Chandler is like three minutes older than me. Well, hate to say this to Stephen, we're all getting up there,
right?
But we're not there yet. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just this series bothers me. I feel it's disrespecting both characters. I feel it's disrespecting the lore itself, and I'm over it, man. I don't. And this seems almost like a hard R-rated series, but they're trying to match it with the stuff that was going on in the Superman movie, and I
don't know.
Okay. On the plus side, this looks interesting. This is a Highlander comic book.
Oh yeah. This, and I don't know if this artwork actually comes from it, but it looks good.
Yeah,
it looks good.
Titan Comics has announced plans to publish Highlander, the original screenplay, a striking new graphic novel adaptation based on the original script by writer Gregory Wyden, arriving in bookstores and comic shops on November 17th. Described by the publisher as a lavishly illustrated volume with art by Simone Kudranski, the adaptation presents the immortal saga of Connor McLeod as it was first imagined, long before it became a cult-defining cinematic classic. Spanning centuries of history, epic duels, and shadowed rivalries, Highlander, the original screenplay, follows Connor's journey across eras as he faces other immortals in a deadly contest for a mysterious and ultimate prize. Even better, Titan has shared with us several preview pages from the book to tease Kudranski's incredible artwork. That's where you're seeing that. It looks like Christopher Lambert. It's a good likeness.
It absolutely does. I love when they take their time with the artwork and give it
justice.
Yeah.
Returning to the story's roots, the graphic novel offers fans a rare chance to experience Walden's original narrative vision in full, capturing the mythoscale, tragic romance, and operatic violence that made Highlander a cultural touchstone. I've been a fan of Highlander since what feels like the dawn of time, so it's a genuine thrill to bring this story back as originally envisioned by a man who created it, Gregory Wyden, said Jonathan Wilkins, editor of Highlander, the original screenplay. For the first time, readers will be we'll be able to experience the epic adventure set across the centuries. It's been a genuine thrill to work with Gregory to discover the various avenues this story explored before filming began. So get ready to visit the blood-stained highlands of the mid-1500s to the steamy streets of New York of the early 1980s for a spectacular take on the immortal tale. This looks interesting. I'm wondering how it
Yeah.
differs. Maybe gorier? Because even with an R rating, you can only show certain stuff, right? I don't know.
Yeah, no, I can't say, but I think there's a great deal of possibility there. Yeah, maybe there are some elements that we'll get that we didn't get originally. We'll have to wait and see.
Looks interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it might be something worth picking up. See, we're not always negative. Jackie Weaver joins cast of NBC's The Rockford Files pilot.
Yeah, I had mentioned when we originally brought up the fact that they were, I hate to use the term rebooting, but whatever you want to call it, the Rockford Files. When I saw their initial casting, I was like, okay, wait a minute now. This may not actually be all that bad.
Well, believe it or not, I'm not even against the idea of remakes or reboots because Hollywood has been doing that since the old days. The only reason we
True.
complain about it now is because often remakes are worse than the films they're based on. Whereas they should
Right.
probably complement the films they're based on, not, go ahead.
Well, and again, it's like I was saying, in order to homage, pastiche, whatever, something, you've got to love it first. And if you do go into something like this, loving the project that you're working on, you have every potential for it to be a success. And I have said this before. I have seen remakes and I have seen reboots that were very good, that do the kind of updating you want to see in it.
Yeah.
I used Battlestar Galactica as a, in quotes, remake that at least mostly right up to the end, I really loved. Even the end wasn't terrible. I just think it was a little rushed, a little sloppy, but by and large, really, really good. And for just one example of a reboot in the form of a late sequel, Ghostbusters Afterlife. I would even say Twin Peaks: The Return. I mean, there's been a lot of them that reboot by just doing a sequel that is time appropriate.
Yeah.
So
like TNG.
Yeah, that's actually a great example too. And it had a rough start. They needed to put a little polish on it. After Michael Kuhn and Rich Sternbach were like, the canon isn't quite right. Let's take an opportunity to really nail this down. And they did.
Yeah. Like when finally you realize that Worf is kind of from a disgraced family. That's kind of why he's in the Federation, because there was
no explanation previously, and they just you kind of figure it out as you go. Look, that's some great story.
That made his character a lot more interesting, because think about it. He's keeping this secret because he doesn't want the Empire to fall in a civil war, but he's also angry because of on the face he's been dishonored. He knows he has honor, but it's throughout how it looks to the rest of the Empire, and it's about him trying to come back from that. But anyway, as far as the Rocker Files goes, Jackie Weaver from Clipped has joined the cast of NBC's The Rocker Files pilot, working alongside David Boreanaz and Michaela McManus. The project is a contemporary update on the classic series of the same name. Newly paroled after doing time for a crime he didn't commit, James Rockford returns to his life as a private investigator, using his charm and wit to solve cases around Los Angeles. Weaver will play Rockford's longtime trailer park neighbor. She's a tough, outspoken activist and think tank analyst. So, okay. I mean, yeah, the more I hear about this, the more I'm keep my fingers crossed. This might be something special. We'll see. But apparently, Weaver is an Australian theater, film, and TV actress working for more than 50 years. She is best known outside Australia for her performance in Animal Kingdom, which she was nominated for the 2011 Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress. So, okay. So good
Oh,
for her.
absolutely, definite potential. Yeah, I didn't see any. I couldn't find a negative here.
Yes.
This I'm not saying this. This is necessarily proof positive. This is going to be awesome, but no reason to think it won't be pretty decent. And again, network television. Not a lot of that happening these days.
James Garner's wife has blocked me on Twitter. I'm sorry to hear that. You never even interacted with her. I don't.
I'll tell you exactly why. It's because you were probably following someone that she blocked, and it happens to a lot of us. You end up in these block chains where the friend of my enemy is therefore my enemy, and even though I don't know you, I'm gonna block you.
Yeah, but here's the thing: just because you're following someone, that doesn't necessarily make you their friend. You could be following someone who has opinions you don't agree with, but you're curious as to what they are. I never understand this. We're all children now. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's because people really honestly want to live in their bubbles, and definitely don't ever challenge my thoughts and opinions, because blah 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 blah. I don't hear you. I don't hear you.
I may follow someone. I may follow someone because I agree with their position on a certain issue, but I don't agree with their position on other issues. That's the weird
Yeah.
thing, It's not all or nothing. It's people are varied in their.
Well, it's weird to anyone who doesn't understand intellectual honesty.
And of course, we tie this into our good old days from tonight.
Yeah, this is interesting.
The iconic,
Not necessarily for the owner of the house. I'll get to that in a second.
the iconic house from the Brady Bunch is now an official historic landmark in Los Angeles. Well, look at that. I mean, I guess it kind of is a historical landmark at this point, but it's an unassuming mid-century house in Los Angeles featuring tan siding, stonework, and blue double doors. But for fans of the Brady Bunch, it's an icon. The home's exterior is frequently featured on the family sitcom, which aired from 1969 to 1974. Now the house is an official LA landmark. On March 4th, the LA City Council voted unanimously to add the house to the city's list of historic cultural monuments. Designating the Brady Bunch house as a historic cultural monument allows Angelenos to preserve the cultural significance of the entertainment classic and revisit the iconic aesthetic of the 1970s California living, said Vince Bertoni, the city's planning director, in a statement to USA Today's Michelle Del Rey. Located on Dilling Street in LA's city neighborhood. The house was designed by architect Harry M. Londelis and built in 1959. The Brady Bunch premiered 10 years later, introducing the world to Mike, a father of 3 sons, Carol, a mother of 3 daughters, and their housekeeper Alice. The theme song sums up the show's premise. Till the one day when the lady met this fellow, and they knew that it was much more than a hunch, that this group must somehow form a family. That's the way we all became the Brady Bunch. The Brady Bunch's house is a physical representation of a TV show that exemplified.
Wait, pause right there.
Yes.
I did want to point out that there was a difference in the opening lines between the first and second season. The original opening song was sung in third person, so it's the way they became the Brady Bunch. And then second season, the kids started singing it, and therefore sang the way we became the Brady Bunch. Just wanted to share that. I didn't mention it in the opening segment.
Well, no, I mean that's important to know, actually. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So let me see. The Brady Bunch pilot showed a different home as the Brady exterior, beginning with the second episode. The Dilling Street location serves as the family's residence. However, all of the show's interior shots were filmed in a studio. The Dilling Street's house interior bore no resemblance to the Brady Bunch sets. That is until 2018, when HGTV purchased the house for $3.5 million and performed a massive renovation. The network produced a 4-part miniseries called "A Very Brady Renovation." It featured grown-up Brady Bunch cast members demolishing the home's interior, which Drew and Jonathan Scott, the hosts of The Property Brothers, then helped refurbish. By the show's conclusion, the structure matched the home seen on television inside and out. HGTV took a loss when it sold the house in 2023, reports the Los Angeles Times. Ian Fleming. Enthusiast Tia Trana and her husband Chris Elbrecht the former chief executive of HBO, paid $3.2 million for the home and its Brady-themed furnishing. She wanted the house for its cultural significance, and she told People's Lizzie Rosenberg in 2023 it wasn't exactly livable. None of the appliance works, says Trahan. The range doesn't work, the stove doesn't work, the oven doesn't work, nothing is functioning, it's all decorative. In November, Trahan and her husband opened the house for a limited number of tours, which cost $275. She also submitted an application to LA Department of City Planning to designate the house as a historical cultural landmark. So at least in this case, it's people that own the house that submitted the house, so it's not the government doing eminent domain.
Yeah, that's because that's where it becomes a problem,
Yes.
because once that happens, you lose all rights to make most of your rights. If you want to do anything with the house, it has to be approved by the historical committee or whatever. I just dropped in the chat. Let me bring that up. Suggestive a video you guys might enjoy a tour of the Brady Bunch home, part 1, a CG tour. This girl, Marina Coates, does CG mock-ups of the interiors of houses, famous fictional houses. She does the Addams Family house. She does the Munsters house, and she does a walkthrough of several different places in Andy Griffith and some others. She has a 2-parter on the Brady Bunch house, and she does a great job of pointing out how the exterior doesn't really match the interior, because the interior was on sets, but she does the best she can to find an amalgamation that works. Honestly, this is great for those of you that are like big fans of The Sims, because I recreated this house in The Sims, as well as a number of other fictional houses. But can you imagine if all the houses for fictional house, the filming locations for these fictional houses in California all ended up becoming national landmarks? You wouldn't be able to, own those homes because you couldn't do anything with them. It would kind of be a nightmare. And I understand. Here's the other thing too. I know that there's a lot of people that own homes that are kind of famous as locations from TV shows. And so they purposely go out of their way to change the look of their home so that people overlook them and because they always still have people on tours stopping in front of their house, taking pictures, and all. It's got to be annoying. Netter and I were as respectful as we absolutely possibly could. Basically, we just slowed down, looked at the house, and continued driving. We drove past the house that was Buffy Summers' house in Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I see.
Oh, look, that's the house. Yeah, it looks completely different. Hey, here's the high school. The high school is far more interesting to us because that high school was used for many filming locations.
Oh yeah. Okay, great. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's probably been featured in other movies as well. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. So there you go. I think that's pretty cool. Now, what they really, I have mixed feelings about the appliances not being functional, because if you're going to preserve it as like a prop house, that's fine. I guess it doesn't need to be functional, but I almost feel like it should be functional, even if it's never going to be used. I don't know.
I agree.
I don't know.
But I guess they just made it as a prop house. Well, that might be part of the problem.
It would be nice if they were going to do something with it again.
Well, the point is, though, at least now it's a historical landmark. Maybe the city will have tours.
And will they do tours and stuff like that? That would be
raise money. That's a way to raise money instead of, raising taxes.
You better start raising money in that state, for crying out loud. Oh, God. Speaking of raising money.
Isn't that a thing of beauty?
It is not. And I'll explain my thoughts on that in a moment.
We need to talk about this burger that's been getting roasted. McDonald's. Yeah.
I just want to give my initial thoughts on just the picture you're showing.
Sure.
Right? You're essentially looking at a Big Mac that's gotten the double quarter pounder treatment. It's an upscaled Big Mac, but they changed the bun by putting the black toasted mustard seeds on it, which I feel only belong on a Chicago style hot dog. Okay, it does not belong on your Big Mac.
Yeah, they ruined the hamburger bun.
What's
that crap?
Yeah, that unless you were putting like some hot dog on there, it's stupid to begin with. But you go ahead, and I'll have more thoughts in just a moment.
Okay, so what truly makes the burger stand out, McDonald's says, is its sauce, which is tangy and creamy and a perfect balance of mustard, pickle, and sweet tomato flavors. This is the Big Arch, in case you didn't know the name. It has crispy silver onions, cheddar cheese, lettuce, and pickles, and 2 quarter-pound patties. So this is like a premium
And one
burger.
other thing that you won't, I'll bet you don't have in this article, because I don't think anyone's reporting on this. This has actually always been one of those secret off the menu type things. For as long as they've had double quarter pounder with cheese, there has been the option of having this made for you off the main menu.
I see.
It just wouldn't have had this goofy custom bun.
Well, apparently this is not a cheap burger. Is it like $15 at some McDonald's? It's like...
Yeah, just for the freaking burger. This is what I said. It's like as if the Big Mac wasn't, calorie dense enough and expensive enough. McDonald's is struggling to keep customers because their food is too expensive and people are becoming increasingly health conscious. So what are we going to do? We're going to make it worse for you and charge you twice as much for it. That's friggin' brilliant.
So can I at least talk to you about how the CEO did a video about this?
Yes, please do, because that's even stupider.
So in the video, he says, "Holy cow, God, this is a big burger," Kempczynski said in the video, which garnered 4.5 million views. Though he appeared excited, he took a notable small bite of the burger before declaring, "That is so good. It's distinctly McDonald's," he said. "Only McDonald's could do this type of burger, but is unlike anything else on our menu. It's a delicious product." Kempczynski's video was lightly roasted on Instagram comment section. He acts like he's never seen a burger before. One person observed, impressed by
At one point, he refers to it as a product. It's like, oh, you are so out of touch.
It's a food type product, yes. This was the smallest first bite I've ever seen. He said he was saving the rest of the burger for his lunch later. I think this thing ended up in the trash, but that's just my my thing. But third user joke.
That says something else, implying we know it's so big you can't eat it in one meal, so you're going to eat it for lunch and for dinner probably.
Anyway.
Or maybe just share it with your wife, who, of course, wanted you to hold the pickles and the sauce, so it's not even the sandwich that you wanted in the first place. So,
this is so bad. And of course,
Jack in the Box, Jesse. We used to have Jack in the Box here in the Chicago area when I was a kid in grade school, and they pulled out of Illinois. I don't blame them. They were probably smarter to do that. But.
I think I've seen them in Texas when I visited Texas. They had them out there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
McDonald's and Burger King beef over CEO's viral videos. Yes, the CEO of Burger King put out his own video regarding the Whopper. And McDonald's and Burger King have a major beef, and not the kind sold in the restaurants. The food fight started last month when McDonald's CEO Chris Kempczynski posted a video of himself eating fast food giant's new Big Arch burger on social media. The video was to promote the new product, which was released on Tuesday. "That's a big bite for a Big Arch," Kempczynski said, holding the burger with a negligible bite mark. This is so bad. This almost feels dystopian. He's acting like he's afraid of it, says social media.
I'm afraid of it.
And just to call it a product, one user wrote, "It feels incredibly alien. Makes me second guess eating at McDonald's." But Burger King's comment was but an Instagram account below, the Caremaker Mini Cooper also weighed in. "Gonna start test driving our cars 1 meter at a time." Oh, that's bad. And then, so let's see. Burger King's comment, which received 71,000 likes, was brief. "We couldn't finish it either." Oh, that's so bad. Then on Tuesday, the day the Big Arch released, Burger King posted a video of its president, Tom Curtis, eating a signature Whopper cheeseburger on Instagram. "Thought we'd replay this," Burger King wrote in the caption. Fast food behemoth denied that the video was related to the spat. We confirmed the video was not created in reaction to anything. Yeah, sure it wasn't. It shows the CEO taking a big bite of his burger. And you know what he says? The only thing this needs right now, I need a napkin to wipe my mouth, because it's that good. He was basically, it looks like he's enjoying his hamburger that was freshly made for him, whereas this guy's not wanting to touch it. So I'm over it, man. You're making a joke how you'd have to put a second mortgage on the house to afford this burger.
Honestly, folks, if you want a double Big Mac, just make it yourself. In fact, if you want a Big Mac, just make it yourself. It's not that difficult. If you just think about it, you could probably figure out how to do it yourself.
But what about
you know
the
how to cook?
sauce?
If you don't, there's YouTube's. It's Thousand Island dressing.
What?
Yes, it always was.
Oh, you're killing me here. I never knew. I'm joking.
Big secret.
And what is Thousand Island dressing? That's an answer for
Thousand Island dressing is ketchup, mayonnaise, and pickle relish.
It was made in the Navy. Did you know that?
I do not doubt that. That makes absolutely perfect sense. Yes.
All right. That wraps up the stories for tonight. I know we got to wrap it up now because I think we have a reserved seats going on. Is that right? So.
It's behind the curtain.
Behind the curtain. Okay. But this was good. So you will not be stopping by McDonald's for a big arch, but there are many interesting eateries around in Orlando, including the actual Universal Studios. So
I have not been able to bring myself to go to buy anything from McDonald's in a long time. It's just not worth it to me.
The French fries aren't as good as they used to be.
No, they're not.
All right, so just a quick recap, though. Tonight you'll be having Doctor Who at what time? In an hour?
Well, yeah. I mean, my understanding is you get over to deleted scenes after this, and then when he's done there, come back for Doctor Who. We're starting the first of 3 parts of the Keys of Marinus.
Excellent.
So
that rings a bell.
Yeah. It was really. They were really starting to dive into the sci-fi element of it. They were kind of. I really feel like at this point they were like, okay, we just did this Marco Polo thing. Forget this historic stuff. Let's just have some fun with it.
Dive into the sci-fi.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow night we have Monday Night of the Movies, right?
Yes, we do. In honor of Bruce Campbell, who's having some health struggles, we are going to be rewatching the original. What's it called?
Evil Dead.
Evil Dead. Thank you.
That's a classic.
To think of. Yeah.
All right. Well, that'll be fun. Just want to say goodbye, y'all. Do either you want to say goodbye before we hit the hay?
Well, I want to say how awesome and Osmo. Everybody is here. And thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you again, Lady Miss, for my farty fox. Because I love my farty fox.
There you go.
And I just remember something. Today is March 8th. It is my 5th year work anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
I've been with my company for 5 years.
See if anyone tomorrow remembers.
Actually, my boss already sent me a Teams message letting me saying that.
That's sweet.
Cool.
But that also means I get an extra week of vacation.
There you go.
Great. Good for you. All right. Well, I hope all y'all have a good week, and we'll see you next time. And tune in throughout the week. You'll see me and Troy on various other streams. Catch you later.
There you go. Take it easy, guys.